It was supposed to be a simple job. Human engineer Kai Lennox was assigned to fix a broken energy core on an alien ship. He had done this kind of work many times before, but this time felt different. The ship belonged to the Zelari, a proud and powerful alien race. Their warriors were famous across the galaxy, cold, calm, and deadly. Kai had never worked on their ship before. Inside the repair bay, the walls were smooth metal, glowing with soft purple light. Strange symbols floated in the air like holograms. It was quiet. Too quiet. One guard stood near the entrance, watching him. She was tall, at least 7 feet. Her name was Aluna. Her skin was violet with a soft glow. She wore dark armor with shining blue lines. Her silver eyes didn't blink. She had been standing there for over an hour, just watching. Kai tried to ignore her. He focused on the scanner in his hand and opened the access panel. "You don't talk much, huh?" he asked, smiling nervously. Aluna didn't answer. She tilted her head slightly, but said nothing. Kai laughed to himself and kept working. He pulled out a burned circuit and replaced it with a new one. He leaned down, reaching for a wire, when suddenly, boom! A loud crash came from the hallway outside. The ship shook slightly. Tools rolled off the table. Kai grabbed the wall to steady himself. Aluna reacted fast. She turned toward the sound, drawing her blade. But as she stepped forward, the floor gave a small jolt again, and her foot slipped on a loose panel. Kai saw her falling, without thinking. He moved forward and caught her. His hand landed on her side just below her ribs and held her steady. Her body froze. Her breathing stopped. Then a soft shiver ran through her. Her glowing skin pulsed slightly under his touch. "You touched me there," she whispered, her voice low and tense. Kai pulled his hand back quickly. I was just trying to help." "You almost fell." Aluna stepped back slowly. She touched the place where his hand had been. "You're not supposed to touch me there." "Human," she said, her voice trembling. Kai frowned. "I didn't mean anything. I was just helping you stand." She stared at him for a long time. Then she said something he didn't expect, but it felt good. Kai blinked. "Wait, what?" "That area is sacred. It holds energy. For us, that place is private. Only a bonded mate can touch it." Kai felt cold sweat on his forehead. "I swear I didn't know." "I'm sorry." Aluna didn't respond. She turned around and walked out of the room. Kai stood there alone, confused and nervous. Later that evening, Kai sat in his quarters, trying to calm down. He couldn't stop thinking about what happened. "You touched me there, human." But it felt so good. What did she mean by that? Was she angry? Was she going to report him? He had only touched her to stop her from falling. That's all. Still, the look in her eyes. It wasn't hate. It wasn't fear. It was something else. There was a knock at his door. Kai stood up, surprised. "Who is it?" No answer. He opened the door slowly and saw Aluna standing there. She looked the same, calm, strong, silent. But her silver eyes seemed brighter. "I can't stay away," she said. Kai was confused. "From what?" "From you." He blinked. "Why?" She stepped inside. That touch. It awakened something in me. Something I was trained to bury. "I didn't mean to, I know," she said, cutting him off. "That is what makes it worse." She walked closer. "I've trained my whole life to ignore feeling, to control it. But now, my body remembers your touch, and it wants to feel it again." Kai stepped back, nervous. "You're serious?" She nodded. "If I feel it a second time, it becomes harder to resist. If it happens 3 times, the bond becomes permanent, unbreakable." "So what now?" he asked, heart pounding. I should report you. I should ask to be reassigned. But I don't. Want to? Why? Luna looked into his eyes. Because. I've never felt anything like that before, and I don't know if I can give it up. The room went silent. Kai swallowed hard. He didn't know what to say. He hadn't done anything on purpose, but now something had started. Something dangerous, and maybe something beautiful too. The next morning, Kai couldn't stop thinking about what Luna had said. If you touch me there again, the bond may become permanent. He wasn't even sure what that meant. He wasn't a warrior. He wasn't part of alien politics. He was just an engineer doing repairs. And yet, somehow, one accidental touch had turned into this. He splashed cold water on his face and tried to forget about it. But then he opened store. Luna was standing there again, just like before. Tall, strong, glowing violet skin, long silver hair tied behind her back. Her glowing eyes didn't blink. Morning, Kai said, trying to sound normal. I watched your door all night, she said. You? What? In my culture, when a reaction begins, we monitor it. The bond is not just in the body, it spreads to the mind. Kai blinked. I was just trying to help you stand up. I know, she said quietly, but my body doesn't forget the touch. Kai stepped aside. Do you want to come in? She didn't move. That would be dangerous. For who? For me. She finally stepped inside, slowly. The door closed behind her with a soft hiss. I was warned by my people, she said. The human touches me again, I must report it. It is law. Okay. Then maybe we keep some distance, Kai said, holding his hands up. Luna shook her head. The problem is, I don't want distance. Kai looked into her silver eyes. There was something in them, not cold, not emotionless. Something warm, confused, human even. I don't understand, he said. You're a warrior. Aren't you trained to ignore feelings? I am, she replied. But feelings are still real. We are not machines, just silent. They stood in silence for a moment. Luna's hand reached out, not touching him, but hovering close. Kai could feel the heat from her palm. His heart pounded in his chest. I want to test it, she said. Test what? Up the feeling. Returns Luna. Only for a second. He nodded slowly. Her fingers touched the same place, his waist. Just above the hip, it was soft, gentle. And then her breathing changed. Her eyes widened. A soft glow moved through her skin, like ripples of light. She stepped back quickly. It happened again. Kai was stunned. What does that mean? I felt it, stronger than before. It's not just physical now, it's emotional. She looked down at her hands. I'm losing control. Kai tried to stay calm. You said 3 times makes the bond permanent. She nodded. Yes, if you touch me there one more time, I will belong to you. That sounds a little ancient, she finished for him. It is, but my people follow the old ways. Touch is sacred. Once the bond is made, it cannot be undone, even if it was by accident. She looked at him with soft, glowing eyes. There are no accidents to the body. Later that day, whispers spread through the Zolari ship. 2 warriors had seen Luna leaving the humans' room. The Elder Council heard about it. They called her in for questioning. You were touched in the sacred place, the High Commander said. Twice. Yes, Luna said honestly. Do you wish to bond with the human? There was a long pause. I do not know. That is not acceptable, the commander said coldly. You must report him, or you will be exiled. I cannot report him, she said. Then you must leave. She bowed her head, but inside, her heart beat faster than it ever had in her life. Back in his own quarters, Kai sat on his bed, holding his head. He didn't ask for this. He didn't mean for this to happen, and yet couldn't forget the way she looked at him like he had unlocked something no one else ever had. A soft chime rang at the door again. He opened it. It was her again. She looked tired, but determined. "They told me to leave," she said. Kai's heart sank. "Because of me?" "No," she whispered. "Because of us?" He stepped aside. This time she didn't wait. She walked into his room, turned, and faced him. "I have one more touch left," she said. "If it happens, I become yours." Kai said nothing. His hands were shaking. Luna reached out slowly, touching his hand. It wasn't on her waist this time. It was simple, gentle, but her skin lit up once. Again, she closed her eyes and whispered, "I'm scared, because it feels too good." For the next 2 days, Luna stayed close to Kai. She didn't speak much, but her presence said everything. Her silver eyes watched him with interest. Her body moved with calm, warrior-like control, but now her steps were softer, slower, as if she didn't want to scare him. Kai, on the other hand, was still unsure what was happening. He had been a quiet ship technician, just a man who worked with machines. Now, a powerful alien woman had bonded with him because of a touch, one he didn't even mean. But her feelings were real, and so were his. He started to notice the way she looked at him when she thought he wasn't watching, the way her fingers sometimes hovered near his, as if she was afraid to grab his hand but wanted to. The way her glowing skin brightened when he stood close. It felt strange. It felt dangerous, but it also felt right. Still, nothing was simple on a ship full of Zellari warriors. Soon, others began to notice. 2 guards passed by Kai and Luna in the hallway and whispered to each other in their native tongue. Kai didn't understand the words, but Luna heard everything. She stiffened. "What did they say?" Kai asked. "They think I'm weak," she replied softly. "They think I have broken my honor by bonding with a human." Kai looked around.
Are
"We? In danger? Not yet. But soon?" That night, the Zellari Council held a secret meeting. 12 elders sat in a dark, circular room. Glowing symbols floated around them. "She has not reported the human," one of them said. "She has bonded." "It is clear," another answered. "She must be removed." But one voice in the group disagreed. "She is one of our best. If the bond is real, we must understand it, not destroy it." The others disagreed. Their faces were cold, their voices firm. "She betrayed our law. She broke our sacred code. She allowed desire to blind her." The council voted. The decision was made. The next morning, Luna was summoned to the training arena. She knew what it meant. She wore her armor, tied her long silver hair back, and walked with purpose. Kai followed her, worried. "Where are you going?" "I've been challenged," she said. Challenged. In our culture, a warrior who breaks the code must face trial by combat. "You're going to fight. For me. For us," she corrected. "I can't let you do this alone." "You have no choice," she said. "You are not a warrior. If you step into the arena, you die." Kai watched helplessly as she entered the ring. A large crowd of Zellari soldiers had gathered. The arena was made of dark stone, with glowing lines marking the battleground. Above them, the council watched from a high platform. Her opponent was General Maltrak, a large and powerful male with skin like black steel and arms like tree trunks. He didn't speak. He just raised his blade and attacked. The fight was fast. Blades clashed. Sparks flew. Luna moved with speed and grace. Her body danced around him. She struck him on the side, the leg, the shoulder. But he was stronger. He pushed forward with rage. She was hit hard in the ribs. She fell. The crowd gasped. But she stood again. Kai held his breath. Maltrak charged one last time. AR. Luna dropped her blade and stepped inside his guard. She touched his chest with her hand, whispered something in the warrior tongue. He stopped. He backed away. He dropped his weapon. Gasps spread through the crowd. The council stood in shock. She won. Someone whispered, without blood. Without killing, she had beaten him with words and honor. Luna turned to the council. I have not broken my code. I have followed my feeling. I accepted a bond that chose me. If that is weakness, then your code is already broken. With silence. Then the council leader spoke. Leave, both of you. You are not welcome here. Back in Kai's quarters, Luna sat quietly, her armor still dented from the fight. Kai poured her water and sat beside her. You okay? He asked. Yes. But we are outlaws now. He looked at her. What happens next? She didn't answer for a moment. Then she said, we leave the ship. We find a new place. Together, he hesitated. You really want to do this? She looked into his eyes. My body remembers your touch, but now, my heart remembers you. Kai felt his chest tighten. It was real. Then the screen beeped. A message appeared. Unknown signal detected. Tracking your location, danger imminent. Kai stood up. Someone's following us. Luna grabbed her blade. Then we run. Together. And they did. The ship they escaped on was old. It shook every time it jumped through hyperspace. But it was fast, and that was all they needed. Kai sat in the pilot's seat, trying to control the broken ship as stars streaked past the windows. Luna stood behind him, silent but alert. Her sword was strapped to her back. Her armor was still scratched from the duel. She hadn't said much since they left the Zellery home vessel. She didn't need to. Her presence beside him was enough, but they both knew something was wrong. They're still tracking us, Kai said. The ship's scanner shows a signal tail. It follows no matter where we jump. Luna narrowed her glowing eyes. It's a seeker drone. Old Zellery tech. Once it locks on, it doesn't stop. Can we destroy it? No, not unless we face it head-on. Kai sighed. That sounds like suicide. She placed a hand on his shoulder. Then we keep running. For now. 3 days passed. They landed on a small moon with no name. The place was quiet. Dusty. Abandoned. Luna found an old underground bunker. There they rested. Kai set up the power units. He repaired the ship's sensors. Meanwhile, Luna stood at the entrance like a silent guardian. At night. They shared stories. I thought Zellery were all cold and serious, Kai said, as they sat near a small heat lamp. We are, Luna replied, but even cold things can burn if touched the right way. He looked at her, and she smiled, just a little. It was the first real smile she had ever shown. I wasn't trained for this, Kai said. Running, hiding, falling for someone who isn't even human. You didn't fall, she said. You landed into me. He laughed. That's one way to put it. But the laughter faded as the scanner beeped again. They found us, Kai said. Luna stood immediately. We fight. No, we can't win against a full ship. Then we escape. As they prepared to leave, a strange old man appeared outside the bunker. He wasn't Zellery, not fully. His skin was faded blue, his eyes bright like twin stars. His clothes were made from old space cloth, patched with different culture symbols. Luna drew her blade. The man raised his hands. I'm not here to fight. Who are you? She asked. I am Veus, he said. I've seen your kind before, a Zellery and a human. Bonded long ago. Kai stepped forward. You've seen it before. Veus nodded. Only once. It was forbidden then too, but it saved a world. Luna's eyes narrowed. You're lying. No, he said. Your bond is rare, sacred. It is not just physical. It's ancient. The connection between your species can awaken something powerful, something hidden deep inside you. Kai frowned. Like what? Energy, light, rage, love. Whatever you carry in your hearts, it grows through the bond. It becomes real. Erluna lowered her sword. I feel it, she said softly. The more I stay near him, the stronger I feel. But I don't know if it's strength or weakness. It depends on how you use it, Vaya said. But be warned, others want that power. That's why they chase you. Kai looked at Erluna. What do we do? You run? Vaya said. But not aimlessly. Go to the dark side of the Kevlon system. There is someone there who can help you understand the bond. Why should we trust you? Erluna asked. Vaya smiled sadly. Because I once loved like you, and I lost it. He handed Kai a small crystal. This will hide your signal. Just for a while. Then he disappeared into the mist. As their ship took off again, Erluna sat in the co-pilot seat. The stars outside were quiet, but their future was not. You okay? Kai asked. She didn't answer right away. Then she said, when I first felt your touch, I was afraid. I thought it would make me weak, and now I think I was wrong. They flew in silence for a while. Then Erluna looked at him and said, when you touched me, it woke something in me. Not just pleasure, not just heat, but meaning. Kai swallowed hard. You think we were meant to meet? Not meant, she said. Chosen. The scanner beeped again. Not a warning, this time, but a message. Unknown force detected. Energy signature matches bonded. Pair, activating. The ship's lights dimmed. A strange pulse moved through the cabin. Erluna's hand reached for Kai's. As their fingers touched, a wave of soft light spread through the room, glowing lines along their skin. Their eyes flashing bright for a second. Kai gasped. What was that? Erluna whispered. The bond is changing us. The stars outside their ship moved slowly now. They had stopped jumping through hyperspace. The engines were quiet. The glowing lights on the control panels blinked gently, casting soft blue and green light across the cockpit. Kai sat in his chair, his eyes staring at the empty space in front of them. His hand was still tingling. He looked down and remembered the feeling, the warmth, the light, the strange pulse that passed through him when he touched Erluna. She was standing near the window, her back to him, silent. Her arms were crossed, her glowing marks on her arms still faintly shining. She was thinking too. The bond between them had grown, and now something inside her was changing. You felt it too, didn't you? Kai asked, breaking the silence. Erluna didn't answer right away. She turned slowly, her face calm but serious. Yes, she said. I felt everything. It was more than just light, more than just energy, he said. It was like I could hear your thoughts. I could feel your pain and your heart. She nodded slowly. That is the ancient bond. I've only read about it in secret records. It is rare. Forbidden, the Council hides its truth from us. They fear it. Kai leaned forward. Then we need to know more. We can't just keep running forever. Erluna walked over and placed a hand on the control screen. A Kuvlan system. The old man said we would find answers there. Without another word, Kai set the ship toward Kavalan 5. A cold, snowy moon on the far edge of the galaxy. It wasn't on most maps. A forgotten place. When they landed, cold wind blew. Across the white landscape, mountains rose like teeth around them. The air was thin, and the light from the sun barely touched the surface. It felt like they were standing in another world. Ahead, a large rock wall had a hidden doorway. It opened slowly as they approached. Someone had been expecting them. Inside, a warm hallway glowed with soft yellow light. symbols were carved into the stone walls, alien letters that moved and shimmered. They walked in silence. At the end of the hallway, an old woman waited. She wore dark robes, and her skin was the deep blue of an older Zalari. Her glowing eyes studied them with curiosity. "I am Valora," she said, "and I have waited many years for your arrival." Aluna stepped forward, her hand resting near her sword. "How do you know who we are?" Valora smiled gently. "Because I once loved a human too. Long ago, and I felt the bond." Kai blinked. "You were like us." "Yes," Valora said. "My bondmate died. But not before we unlocked the truth. The bond between human and Zalari is not only emotional, it creates a living energy, a power that grows with trust, closeness, and love." Kai looked at Aluna, his heart beating faster. "So, what happened to you?" the council feared. "Us," Valora said. "They hunted us, captured him, used his body to study the energy. He died in pain." Aluna's jaw tightened. "Why would they do that?" "Because this bond can create power," Valora said. "Enough to heal wounds or destroy ships. It is pure living energy. Uncontrolled, it can be dangerous. Controlled, it can change the galaxy." Kai stepped back. "So they don't just want to stop us, they want to use us." Valora nodded. "Yes. If they catch you now, they'll try to drain the energy from your bodies. They'll use it as a weapon." Aluna's voice was sharp. "I'll kill anyone who tries to use us like that." Valora raised her hand. "You must not fight. Yet, the bond is still growing. If you fight too soon, it could kill you both." Later that night, Valora gave them a small room to rest in. It was quiet. A soft fire burned in the center. Kai and Aluna sat side by side, their hands nearly touching. "I was trained to be a weapon," Aluna said. "I was told to obey, to never feel. But ever since I met you, I can't stop feeling." Kai looked at her. "Do you regret it?" "No," she said softly. "I was empty before. Now I feel full." Kai reached out and touched her hand. A warm light glowed around their fingers. Their marks lit up brighter than ever before. The fire in the room pulsed. The walls shook slightly. Their connection was alive. But then suddenly alarms echoed. Through the mountain.ve, Laura's voice came through the speaker. "The council has found us. Their ships have landed outside." Kai jumped to his feet. "What do we do?" "Run," Valora said. "Get to your ship. Don't let them catch you. If they take you, it's over." Aluna stood beside Kai. Her sword was ready. "Kai, I won't let them hurt you." "And I won't let them hurt you. And I won't leave you," Kai said. They ran through the glowing tunnels as red lights flashed. Outside, ships began to land. Soldiers poured from them. But the bond between Kai and Aluna was no longer weak. It was awake, and it was ready. The sky above Kevlin 5 was no longer quiet as Kai and Aluna ran toward their ship. Beams of red light cut through the snow. Council ships circled above, their engines screaming through the cold wind. The air smelled of fire and metal. Alarms echoed from the mountain base behind them. Soldiers in black armor jumped down from the ships, armed with glowing plasma weapons. Their faces were covered. They moved like machines, fast, cold, and without mercy. Aluna turned back for one moment. "They sent assassins, not soldiers. They're not here to arrest us. They're here to kill us," Kai said, pulling her forward. "We need to move. Now." They reached their ship just as a blast exploded behind them. Rocks flew through the air. Kai shielded Aluna with his body, and they both crashed against the ship's ramp. His shoulder burned, but he ignored it. Inside the ship, lights flickered as the engines powered up. Aluna jumped into the pilot's seat. "I'll fly. You cover us." Kai ran to the side control panel and activated the ship's defense turrets. He grabbed a pulse rifle from the emergency locker and aimed it through the side window. Outside, 4 soldiers were approaching. Fast, he fired. 2 dropped instantly. The others ducked behind rocks. More are coming. He shouted. Our Luna pulled the ship into the air, engines roaring. She dodged plasma blasts as they rose above the snow. Another ship tried to block them. She spun the ship to the side and fired the front cannon. The enemy ship exploded into pieces. But more were coming. They won't stop, she said. We need to jump. Kai ran to her side. Coordinates. Anywhere but here, she said. Hold on. She pulled the jump lever. The stars bent. The ship shot into hyperspace, the light around them twisting and stretching. For a moment, all was silent again. But inside, Kai and her Luna were breathing hard, shaking, covered in dust and sweat. Kai sat down, holding his injured arm. Blood was seeping through his jacket. You're hurt, our Luna said, moving to him. I'll live. He said. She tore a strip of cloth from her coat and wrapped it around his arm. Her fingers were gentle, but her face was tight with worry. You? Shouldn't have covered me like that, she said. You could have died? I wasn't thinking, Kai replied. I had to protect you. She looked into his eyes. Her voice was softer now. Why? Because I care about you, he said. More than I've ever cared about anyone. She didn't speak. Instead, she leaned forward and rested her forehead against his. The glow between them returned. Soft at first, then brighter. Their marks lit up. The whole ship seemed to hum. I feel it again, Aluna whispered. Stronger now. Kai nodded. So do I. A wave of energy passed between them. For a moment, they were not 2 people. They were one. Their thoughts, their pain, their hope, all connected. Then suddenly, a warning alarm buzzed. Tracking signal, Aluna said. They locked onto us before we jumped. They know where we're going. Kai stood up. Aden. We need to stop running. She looked at him. What do you mean? We fight. If we keep running, they'll never stop chasing us. We have to make a stand. Aluna hesitated. We're not ready. We don't know how to use the bond yet. Then we learn. Fast. They landed on a nearby moon. It was quiet, with mountains and thick red forests. No cities. No signals. Safe for now. For 2 days, they stayed hidden. Valora had given them data before they left old writings. Secret instructions from Zalari ancestors who once formed the bond our Luna trained. In the forest, practicing focus and balance. When she touched trees, the leaves glowed. When she closed her eyes, she could hear the world around her, every sound, every movement. Kai trained to... He meditated with her Luna. He learned how to move energy through his body. He could feel it now like a current under his skin. Together, they trained. Together, they grew. One night, as they sat near a fire, Aluna said, I was raised to believe emotions were a weakness. But now, I feel stronger when I'm with you. Kai smiled. Maybe love isn't weakness. Maybe it's power. They kissed for the first time that night, and the sky above them lit up with a burst of light, not from stars, but from the energy between them. The bond was no longer weak. It was alive, but peace never lasted long. The next morning, they woke. To the sound of ships overhead, the council had found them again. Luna stood with her sword. Kai loaded his rifle. Are you ready? He asked. No, she said, smiling. But I trust you. Same. Diva ran into the forest as the first. Blast hit the ground behind them. This time, they wouldn't run forever. This time, they would fight. Together, smoke rose high above the trees of the red forest. Fires crackled. Explosions echoed in the distance. The council had found them again, and this time they had sent everything. Dozens of black-armored dropships covered the sky. Ground troops marched through the jungle with plasma rifles in hand. They weren't just hunting Kai and Erluna anymore. They were coming to erase them. Kai ducked behind a thick red tree, breathing hard. His heart pounded like a drum in his chest. He looked over at Erluna beside him, her silver eyes focused, glowing faintly in the darkness. Her sword was in her hand, and the marks on her skin pulsed with blue light. "We can't outrun them anymore," Kai said, whispering. "I know," Erluna replied. "We must face them." Together, she took his hand. In that moment, a warm pulse of energy flowed between their palms. Their bond, the forbidden connection between Zelari and human, had grown stronger. It no longer felt like a strange gift. It felt like part of who they were. "Do you trust me?" Erluna asked softly. "With my life," Kai said. "Then let's show them what we've become." They climbed a tall rocky ridge above the burning forest. Below them, Council soldiers were gathering in formation. A massive ship hovered just above the treetops, humming like thunder. From it descended a figure covered in a long, dark cloak. His face was hidden by a metal mask with red glowing eyes. It was High Enforcer Sithar, the Council's strongest warrior. His voice boomed through the air, cold and sharp. "Kai of Earth, Erluna of the Lost House Virel, you stand in violation of our ancient laws. You bonded across species. You touched the sacred. You betrayed your kind. This is your final chance. Surrender or be destroyed." Erluna stepped forward, her voice clear and proud. "We broke no law worth obeying. We only followed our hearts," Kai added. "You fear what we are. Not because it's wrong, but because it's powerful." Without another word, the sky turned to war. The Council's soldiers opened fire. Erluna and Kai didn't run. They stood tall, hands joined, and focused on each other. Their markings blazed. Light exploded from their bodies, a dome of blue energy that grew like fire in the wind. Laser blasts stopped in midair. The shockwave that followed knocked the front line of soldiers to the ground. Kai raised his hand. A stream of blue force burst forward, striking a dropship and causing it to crash in flames. Erluna moved like a spirit of light, fast, graceful, unstoppable. Her sword danced, slicing through weapons and armor without touching flesh. She wasn't fighting to kill. She was fighting to protect something sacred, the bond. High Enforcer Sithar stepped forward and launched a red beam of energy toward them. Kai leaped to the side, barely avoiding the blast, but Erluna stood firm. She blocked the attack with her sword, the blade glowing white-hot. "You think your little bond gives you power?" Sithar shouted. "It will burn you alive." "No," she said. "It makes us whole." She moved closer to him, her markings glowing even brighter now. Like stars on her skin, Kai joined her, and together they reached out. Energy gathered between their palms, a swirling orb of human and Zelari light, blue and gold. It pulsed with something ancient, something alive. Sithar charged them with all his strength. They released the bond. The blast was silent. No sound. Just light, pure and endless, bursting out in all directions when it faded. The battlefield was quiet. Sithar's mask lay on the ground, cracked open. His body had vanished. The remaining soldiers dropped their weapons and ran. Their strongest warrior was gone. Their fear had become real. Hours later, silence returned to the red forest. Kai and Erluna sat near a stream. Their bodies tired, but their hearts calm. "It's over," Kai said softly. "For now," Erluna replied. "But word will spread. Others will come." "Let them," Kai said. "We'll be ready." A signal beeped on their ships. "Comes." Valora's voice came through, full of awe. Across the galaxy, people are talking. You two started something. The bond has returned. The old stories were true. Many thought it was myth. But now everyone saw what you did. Kai smiled. Good. Maybe now no one else has to hide. Aluna looked at him. You changed everything, Kai. No, he said. We did. Later that night, they stood together on a hill, staring at the stars above. So Kai said, What now? We go where we're needed, Aluna replied. There are more out there. People like us. People who believe in something more. He took her hand. I don't care where we go, he said, as long as I'm with you. She leaned into him. Then let's find a place. She whispered, where love is no longer a crime. Their ship rose into the sky, engines glowing dot behind them. The red forest heeled slowly in the wind. Ahead of them, the stars waited together. They flew into the unknown, not as fugitives, but as symbols of something new. Not human, not alien, but bonded and free.